I'll be honest, I've done it the wrong way myself. I've practiced unsafe lending for years from my retirement account. Let me ask you a bold question. Would you ever practice unprotected lending? Sounds ridiculous, right? But the truth is, most private lenders do it all the time. And often, they don't even realize how exposed they really are until it's too late. Today, I'm going to show you why even smart, experienced lenders fall into risky habits, how I've made these mistakes myself, and why there's a much safer and smarter way forward. Stick with me to the end, especially if you're lending from a retirement account. What I'm about to share with you could save you thousands in fees and potentially your entire investment. Let's start with what safe lending looks like. The professional way to lend money, especially for fix and flip projects, is to fund some portion of the property purchase upfront, usually not the full amount, as for safety you want the borrower to have some skin in the game. Then do draws in stages, as the borrower adds value through renovations. This keeps you in a secure position. Your capital stays backed by something real and ideally worth more than what's been lent on it so far. And just as important, you should be receiving monthly interest payments, not waiting to get everything on the back end. But here's the issue. If you're lending through a self-directed retirement account, this safe method becomes a nightmare to implement. You're working through a custodian unless you've got checkbook control, and that slows down everything and stacks up the fees. I recently received an email from my own self-directed custodian outlining the timelines and fees for doing draws and receiving payments the correct way. Let me break it down. Every draw requires submitting documents. Again, already did a bunch of documents at the beginning of the loan. Now we gotta do them again with every draw. It takes 4 days to process and another 2 days to fund. So that's 6 days from the time you receive a request for a draw to the point that your borrower actually gets the money. If you want to speed that up, it's 125 days for next day service or $225 for same day service. And at a $55 wiring fee each time. And the borrower, they can't even set up auto pay for those monthly interest payments. They have to wire or write a check for each interest payment. And that costs me, not them, an additional $55 per incoming wire. And don't forget, every time I receive a wire, I have to fill out a form called a deposit coupon just to tell them it's mine. You see how fast this becomes a logistical nightmare and a financial drain. So what do most private lenders do? They say, forget it. And they just fund the full amount up front, purchase and renovations together, and they wait to get paid once the property sells. It's easier, but it's also much more dangerous because if the flip goes sideways, if the house doesn't sell for what the borrower hoped or the reno costs spiral, you're now exposed. You fronted everything and the house may not be worth the full loan amount anymore. No professional lenders would ever do this. Now, I'll be honest, I've done it the wrong way myself. I've practiced unsafe lending for years from my retirement account. But I did it with someone I deeply trusted, so I was okay with the risk. But recently, I wanted to lend to someone new. I didn't have the same trust built up, so I wanted to do it right with draws and monthly payments. But the custodial delays and fees made it almost impossible. And this is where many private lenders either give up or look for a better way. That's why more and more private lenders are shifting into professional debt funds. Here is what they offer. Fund managers handle everything, underwriting the loans, servicing, draws, compliance, everything. Loans are always secured with first position liens. They receive set monthly payments, usually making 8 to 10% annually, depending on how much you invest. Your money is always deployed with no idle periods between loans. Your capital is diversified across an entire loan portfolio, not tied to a single borrower or a single property. After the initial 6 months or so, different funds might vary there, your funds are fully liquid. No withdrawal fees, no penalty, and no being stuck in a loan you want out of. Now sure, You might find private loans that pay a little more on paper, but here's the truth. Between downtime between loans where your money isn't working for you, unused capital sitting idle because maybe you lent out $300,000 but you had another $20,000 that didn't get placed, and the risk of borrower default, those higher returns rarely pan out. With a debt fund, your money stays active, protected, and compounding. So, if you're done with hassle, risk, and red tape of private lending, especially through a retirement account, comment more info, and I'll walk you through exactly how a debt fund, like our Blue Vikings Income Fund, works. It's simple, it's secure, and how professional lenders protect their capital and their sanity. It's time to stop practicing unprotected lending. Thanks for watching.